Start off by switching on your Raspberry Pi. In this video, I'm using a Model 3B. Next, attach your camera into the Raspberry Pi. Make sure that the silver part shines away from the USB ports and that the blue part shines towards it. You will then have to activate or switch on your camera. To do this, you will have to go to the Raspberry Pi menu, Preferences, Raspberry Pi Configuration, and then to the Interfaces tab. Then you will have to enable the camera. This will ask for a reboot. I've already done this, so it won't. In this video, we'll be using some streaming Raspberry Pi camera code that I found online. The links to all the codes and all the files that I use in this video are in the description of this video. So guys, there are a few things that we have to first check, but first let's just go and see if this program actually works. So firstly, you have to know the IP address of your Raspberry Pi. You can do this by going to the terminal and then typing in ifconfig. And then you should be going to the WLAN 0 over here, and you should see innet, and then your IP address of your Raspberry Pi. So in my case, it's 192.168.8.107. And make sure that you write this down somewhere or remember it, because we're going to be using this later when connecting the stream to our phone or to our computer. So just memorize that. And now let's check if this works. So run module, you can see it's running. I'm going to try this out on a web browser. So I have Google Chrome set up over here, and I'm just going to type in the IP address, which is right here, and then the port number, okay? So in my case, it's 8000, because if you look at the program, all the way at the bottom, it says address, and then one of the arguments is 8000, okay? And that's the port number. So you have to type a colon after the IP address and then your port number. So click enter, and then you should see a web page pop up, okay? And this is actually the camera right over here. I just have to unscrew or untake the lid of my lens right there, and then you'll see it works. So that worked. One more thing is we obviously have to change this. We have to get rid of that. We have to make it so there are two cameras that we can see, so we can put it into a Google Cardboard, and so that we can actually see the phone in front of our eyes. Alright guys, so a few things that we have to change first is, let's go ahead and change this title. So let's do HUD, okay, just keep it simple, HUD. Then we can remove these centers over here, these center tags, and also the ones that close the center tags. Just like that. Then if you want a better result that you see, you can change the frame rate all the way at the bottom to 30 or something. And if your camera can go even higher, I suggest that you make it even higher. So next up, we have to make a style tag, but first we actually have to duplicate this over here so that we can actually see another image, okay? Because remember, we have to see two images because we have two eyes, and then when we put it inside the Google Cardboard, we will see it as one image. So first of all, let me just go to the style tag, the head tag, and then make a new style section. So this is where we will write our CSS. So I'll just, first of all, just copy some code and paste it, which is right over here. And right after that, I'm gonna make a new, I guess I can just copy this. So I'll just make a new image kind of thing. So a new camera that we will see. This is gonna be the same thing, it's just they'll have different IDs. So we can make the first one have an ID of image 1, and the second one have an ID of image 2, okay? And now if we go up to the CSS part, we'll see that I've made sort of 3 description CSS functions, and each of them sort of place the 2 images that we will see, so that one of them takes up half of the width and the other one takes up the other half of the width, and together they take up the whole width of the whole window. And I've also made the body's margin 0 and the background black. So if we run this, we should actually see that we'll see 2 images right next to each other. So let's just go ahead and run this program. So run the module. You should see it's running now. Go here, type in your IP address and your port, and you should see, yeah, there you go. So you'll see 2 images over here. So one over here and one over here. And you can see they're right next to each other. So if we actually connect if we join this server with our phone and then put our phone inside the Google Cardboard, which is over here. So if we put our phone over here and then see it, then we'll actually be able to see only one of them, and really clearly actually. Okay guys, so inside the folder where this HUD.py program is, I have, all my other Raspberry Pi programs, but I also have this HUD PNG file, and this is basically the heads-up display that I also used for my Ironman video, and I'm going to be using that in this video. So if you have another heads-up display picture, first of all, make sure that it's transparent, so it's transparent in the middle or something, because we're going to be overlaying it on top of the image that we see, like on top of the camera basically. And also make sure that it is in the same folder as your program. And the last thing was, yeah, I didn't know that. So anyways, so we have to basically ask, like when we enter this web page, then we have to ask for this file, and then this program has to give access to this file, and then we can work with it, okay? So first of all, in the HTML, we just type in image source equals, in my case, it's called HUD.png. HUD.png. Yes, so just make an image, and then over here, you want to do elif self.path is equal to dash, and then the name. Okay, so in my case, it's again HUD.png, and then colon, and then I have this code over here, which I wrote, self.send response 200. That basically means you can access it. It's 200 successful. And the content type is image/png, and then you have to end the header, and then you're gonna open this file, and for each line in it, you're sort of basically sending the contents of the file. And make sure you write RB, which is in binary mode, okay? Because it's a file, it's not like a basic text file. And then return over here, okay? So now that we have that, we can just close this, run this program, and we should be able to see our HUD file appear. So it's running, refresh, and you can see it's over here, okay? It's obviously not the best, it doesn't look really good, but we're gonna be formatting it so that this picture is on top of this, and there's going to be another picture which is also going to be on top of this. So guys, first of all, go ahead and copy this and paste it, okay? And make this guy have an ID of HUD1, and the second guy an ID of HUD2. And what you can do is just copy these image styles in the CSS part and paste them below the body, and make these images into HUD, so HUD1 and HUD2. And yeah, I don't think we have to rotate them because yeah, I don't think we have to rotate them, so just remove that. And anything else? Oh yeah, right, and then the Z index. So in case they appear below the image, we can always give them a Z index of like, let's say 10. So they're gonna be preferred to be at the top. So let's say 11 over here. So run. Yeah, there you go. So you can see it's like on top of our image, but this doesn't fully go all the way down. And the reason for that is because we have to also give them the corresponding width and height. So copy that, paste it over here, copy that, and paste it over here. Okay, so they're gonna have the same width, they're gonna have the same dimensions as the camera. So run the module again and refresh, you will see that it fully fits onto the image. Okay, so now if we see this in a Google Cardboard, we're going to be seeing the outside world, and we're also going to be seeing this HUD over here. So this part works, which is good. So guys, now it's time for the object detection part of the code. We will start off by seeing what files we need in our directory of our Python program. So first of all, my Python program is located in this programming file, and it's right over here, hud.py. And along with this, I have the hud.png file, which is our HUD that I'm using. So we need two additional libraries to help us in this object detection part of the code. The first one is p5.min.js, and the second one is ml5.min.js. I'm going to be using the ml5 Coco SSD model as the AI. So make sure that both these files are in the same directory, the same folder as your hud.py. So this p5.min.js is, yeah, it turns out I already have ml5.min.js over here. So I have both p5 and ml5 and the HUD and the HUD.py all in the same folder, which is exactly what you need to do. And don't worry, I'm going to put the links to all these files in the description below, so you can access them if you want. So now that we have them all in the same in the same folder, we can go ahead and go to the server part of the code and write down this, okay? And this is actually really easy. It's the same structure as the HUD.png access code, it's just with JavaScript. So you can see the only difference is the name. So this p5.min.js over here and p5.min.js over here. This is ml5.min.js over here and ml5.min.js over here. And for the encoding, we have a content type of application/JavaScript for both of them because they're JavaScript files. And once again, both of them are they're opened as RB because they're binary, and we know that they're not ordinary text files, they're JavaScript files. So they're like a bit special, you could say. And yeah, so now we've basically told the web page that if you want these files, go ahead, take them. So now we have to actually tell this server that we want those files. So how do we do that? We just go to our body part of the code and script both the files. So we've seen, we see that I did p5.min.js and ml5.min.js. I scripted both of them and sourced everything and so on. So, I don't know why this is still here. I think I'm gonna remove that. And same with this one, I have no idea what that is there. Okay, so let's just see what happens when we run the module. Both these files should be there. So run the module, refresh. You can't see anything because I have the cover on the camera. If I take it off, yes, you just put it back on. And if you inspect the element and go to console, which is over here, you can see, so if you go to sources, then you'll see the index.html file. That's the one that we're writing inside the Python code, which is pretty cool. And then we have the ml5, check, p5.min.js, check. And then obviously we have the hud.png and the stream, the actual camera. So yeah, we've loaded all the files, we're ready to go. So guys, to start off with, go inside your body tags and write a new script tag. So this where we're going to be starting our JavaScript code. So script tags, and then enter. And now I'm going to create a new variable called var preview, which is sort of like the image or the camera that we see. That is going to be document.getElement by its ID, and then image. So there's basically this image over here, okay, the one on the left, okay. So after this, I've written some code which I'm going to copy paste. So there you go, and I'll just format this so it looks a lot better. So there you go. So what does this code mean? So this is what we just wrote, and first of all, we have two detector and detection variables over here, which basically the detection variable, the detections variable, keeps track of what detections there are and exactly what is the detection. And then we have a function model loaded, which is basically a function that gets run when the model is loaded. And in this function, we get alerted when the model is loaded, so that's good. And we have a preload function, which basically loads the whole model before the web page is loaded. We have a getDetections function, which gets run when we have got a detection, when the program or like when the library, when the AI can see something. And once we have gotten that, we set the result, which I've passed in as an argument, to the detections variable over here. Then we have a setup function, which is quite ordinary in any p5.js program. I've basically created a canvas, which is the preview. So over here, remember we made that variable over there? It's width times 2, because we want the canvas to be that big, okay? So we don't want two canvases, we want one big canvas like that, okay? And preview.height, because we want the canvas to be that height. And and then we do detector.detect, preview, and getDetections. That just an ML5 and p5.js code and syntax. Then in the draw function, first I'm going to clear everything, okay? So every time the draw function is run, I clear everything, and then I draw something, okay? And this bit of code is just takes the detections, sort of takes their X and Y positions and their label and their sort of width and height, and just makes rectangles and puts sort of a box around the detection. And I made it so it does this every 120 frames, because if you do it every frame, it's going to be actually quite laggy. So what we will be seeing is that every 120 frames, the camera might lag a bit, but that's totally fine. We can still see everything good. And if you want this to be faster, you just have to make this shorter, so 120. From 120 to like 50 or something. If you want it to be longer, the duration for each detection to be longer, then you can make this number larger. So let's say 300. But I'm just going to make it 120. And because the frame rate is 60, 120 divided by 60 is 2 seconds. So this is going to happen every 2 seconds. So guys, one thing that I made a mistake on is this has to be image 1. Okay, so not just image, but image 1. Everything should work now, so let's run the module. Okay. Let's check if there are any errors. Yep, no errors. So now we just wait until the Coco SSD model is loaded. Okay guys, so we see now that the SSD model has been loaded. So we just go ahead and click OK. And there you go. You see, it has detected me as a person, but clearly it has been sort of offsetted really badly. So we have to fix that. And also notice that the canvas is like sort of below our image. So we have to make that above by using a basic Z index. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just gonna stop this program, go over here, write a canvas, and then make its position absolute. We can give it a Z index of, let's say, 12, okay? And then just write 12. We can say top 25%. Yeah, that's the reason why it was so badly offsetted. And then left 0 pixels. So now if we run this, run module, it's running, refresh, and it's lagging now, which means that the Coco SSD model is like being loaded right now. So in a few seconds, we should get the alert. Yep, there you go. So, okay. And there you go, person. It's baseball glove. Okay, sure, yeah, I'll take that. But yeah, person. Yeah, it detects it pretty well. You can see every time when it's about to detect it again, it sort of freezes the image. So make sure you're not like going down the stairs or something. That'll be kind of weird. I don't know why it thinks that this is a baseball glove. Let's see, what if we take a hot glue gun? Yeah, teddy bear, okay. Yeah, but it does work a lot, pretty well. At least it can detect the boxes, which is pretty good. Let's see something else, a phone. It can usually detect a phone pretty well, so yeah, remote. So it thinks it's a remote. So we just, now the next step is basically, I should probably look at the camera. So the next step is basically to make this go into our Google Cardboard, which is over here, Google Cardboard. So I'm supposed to wear it like that. And then we can probably implement the Raspberry Pi and make it so it sits on top and make the camera, make the camera like somewhere over here. And yeah, it should work pretty fine. So let's just go ahead and do that as the next step. You will then have to attach a power bank to the Google Cardboard. This so we can actually carry the Raspberry Pi around and not make it attached to a socket.